Hello squaddies, welcome back once again to Ramsgate. As always, I am D, and today begins the series of taking another look at the weapon guides, because between the end of the first part of the Fearless Slayers and now, there's been a lot of changes. We've seen a lot of additions, like the new behemoths. I mentioned them last time with things like Malkarian and Torgadoro. I fought Torgadoro recently. It was not a fun fight, but we won. Anyway. So I'm going to start off the same way I did last time. Specifically, we're going to start off with a look at the new sword. Now, this is not the base sword. This is my Shrike sword, which is called Cry of the Shrike, as you can see there. Now, for the most part, the weapons have actually stayed pretty similar to how they were. So, for example, let's see if I can actually pull up I hit the wrong key, so move list. So we still have light attacks and heavy attacks on the sword. And the same basic combos of 4 light slashes, as you can see over here, which actually is a 5-hit combo. 3 light slashes and then 2 heavy, which is a 5-hit combo that uses stamina but also does quite a bit more damage. And then repeating elements, as we've seen before, 2 heavy into the infinite slashing combo of the light. And then, of course, Rising Elements, which is a 3-strike or a 3-click heavy combo that does quite a bit of damage and can actually stagger behemoths if you hit them in the head enough with this. One of the major differences, though, is the Q. That's where a lot of the changes have actually happened. I'm going to demonstrate this twice, and if I do this right, you'll see it in a split screen when I do. So, the old days, the sword used to have 5 little blocks of meter that you would build up over time, and once you had that, you could activate the old version of Valiant Overdrive, which was a lot like this, where you'd have more attack speed and you'd hit harder, and you could also hit Q to send out the sword beam. As you can tell from the video now, and I'll demonstrate this once I get into a hunt, the sword beams are actually just based on your normal attacks now. You don't have to hit anything special for them, and instead you have Aether Dash, which is a good strong forward dash. Like I said, it's can only be used in Valiant Overdrive, has a short cooldown. Now I'm going to demonstrate both of them, but I'm going to tell you about the 2 mods first, or the 2 specials. I have Valiant Overdrive, as you can see there, which activates at full meter to enter overdrive, 20% attack speed, causing attacks to deal 60 to 80 area of effect damage, reactivate to dash in a direction with a 4-second cooldown. There's also Ardent Cyclone, which you'll see a lot. Activate at full meter to spin, dealing 50 damage constantly to nearby enemies. Reactivate to slash in a direction, dealing 450, plus 10 times the number of spin hits to the first enemy hit. So the more you hit, the later in the spin you do this, the way I'm reading this, the more damage you'll do with that slash if you hit with it. As far as I've seen, all weapons have 2 base specials and 1 special you can buy from Lady Luck for Steel Marks, which I don't have, as you can tell. I'm not going to talk about those just yet. I'll talk about them later on. You also have mods. Now, each weapon, as far as I've seen, also has 3 regular mods and then 2 from Lady Luck. The only one I have is Adhesive Hilt, which, as you can tell, becomes unstaggerable while in special. You also have Reactive Hilt, which you get at Sword level 10, or Sword Mastery level 10, I should say, where you dodge attacks. Anytime you do a dodge attack, so like if you do the roll forward and then swing, that is a critical strike. It's a guarantee. And you also have Perpetual Blade Core, which is the final one at rank 16, which is where you have all 5 of the regular level up specials for the weapons. Is at 16 for everything. But Perpetual Blade Core, you deal damage while in special, and it generates a small amount of special meters, so you can keep your special going if you can keep hitting. I think. I'm not entirely certain. It might not be a 1-to-1 ratio. Alright, I'll be right back. I'll join you guys once I've... Actually, I'll just show you, because we're going to be doing another pursuit, just like always, and we're going to be going against... I'm going to go up against a regular Nasher for this. Do private hunt. I'll see you guys in just a second, once we're in the fight. Don't go anywhere. Alright, there is our Nasher. We're going to go ahead and get this fight started, and I'll show you how Valiant Overdrive works. Now, just like normal, you do have to hit the thing to build up meter, which makes sense, because that's just how the meter works. I'm just going to keep dodging because this is a regular bog standard Nasher. I will take a hit eventually just because I get clumsy and overconfident, but this thing basically has no guaranteed way to kill me unless I stand perfectly still. Alright. Now we just hit Q and activate Valiant Overdrive. You'll notice that my slashes now send out sword beams, and if it's far enough away, I can just hit Q to dodge in. Luckily, this is not anything I have to worry about. I mean, like I said, this is a basic Nasher. The only thing weaker would be the lesser Nasher or the lesser Quill Shot, which, yes, they did actually introduce. Now, the sword is still very good at severing tails, but unfortunately I am also working solo here, so I don't have anybody like with a war pike to introduce injuries to it. I was doing so good about not taking a hit there, but Valiant Overdrive is mostly useful, as you can probably tell, for solos, because it doesn't do as much damage as some of the Whirling Cyclone, or as Ardent Cyclone, sorry. Also, you do just occasionally get missed by attacks. And you can also use your Q to dodge out of the way, which you just saw me do. I'm gonna go ahead and activate my lantern real quick. Just broke its face. And its leg. This is, like I said, this is not a case study in how to do everything. This is just a quick show off of how the sword works. If I'm doing things right, you'll also see to the side of the screen the Ardent Cyclone being demonstrated. I won't be talking during that one because having myself talk during two sections would overlap a lot. And in fact, now that you've seen Valiant Overdrive, I'm gonna just cut to the end of the video here. See y'all in a bit. Alright, squaddies. So those are, as I said, the two mods for the new methods for the sword. As I said, the Valiant Overdrive is all about, or I didn't mention this originally, but the Valiant Overdrive, which you start with, is all about staying in close and just dealing quick attack damage that you have a lot more control over, while the Ardent Cyclone does a lot more damage overall. In fact, you might have noticed during some of the spins I was doing there that the final slash, where I came out of the spin and did the massive centrifugal overhead slash to the Nasher, some of them did higher damage. That's because, again, it does more damage the more hits with the spin you get. I'll go over the lanterns later on because there are some good ones out there, and those of you that have been sharp-eyed might have noticed that I tend to stick to one, specifically the Koshai Lantern. I'll talk about the lanterns in a later video. So again, we have Valiant Overdrive, where it's basically the old method of you gain a attack speed bonus and your attacks deal more damage, but they do this by sending out a sword beam. And you can also reactivate it to dash in a single direction in a straight line for a good distance, which is good for escape or initiation. We also have Ardent Cyclone, where you activate to spin. It's spin to win, effectively. But you can reactivate it to slash in a forward direction, which does more damage depending on how many times you hit the enemy with your spin. Then the mods, we have Adhesive Hilt, where you cannot be staggered while you're in special, so Valiant Overdrive and Ardent Cyclone, you cannot be staggered during them. Reactive Hilt, where if you do a dodge attack, you will always critically strike. And Perpetual Blade Core, where dealing damage in special generates a small amount of special meter. The ones I didn't really talk about are the ones from Lady Luck, but there is another one that I can talk a little bit about. Specifically, it's on the sword that NPC down there is holding. The sword that NPC has is, oddly enough, the Feast, which is the legendary, or the, what are they called? Basically the ultra weapons. The Feast is of a similar rarity to things like the God Hand or my helmet here, the Tragic Echo. I'll talk about those in another video as well. Feast has its own special thing where you take damage to do more damage and have lifesteal, along with doing the sword beams like you'd see on Valiant Overdrive. The reason I didn't talk about that is because I don't have the Feast yet, and that ability is only available on the Feast, or on the Hunger. The Feast is the ability. The sword is called the Hunger. I'm sorry, that was my mistake. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope this helps fix some of the introduced mistakes from my old sword guide video. If you did, feel free to you can hit that like button down there. You can also leave a comment down below if you have anything you'd like to say. And if you want to keep up with me, always consider joining the squadron by hitting that subscribe button. Until next time, where we'll go over the next weapon in the list and how it's changed in the time since I've been gone. I have been D, and this has been the Fearless Slayer's Guide to the Changes of the Sword. Good night, and good gaming.